This is James Arnold Taylor, voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Welcome to a more civilized podcast. This is the podcast you're looking for. You may not go about your business. Stay here, listen, and then move along.
Hey everybody, welcome. It feels like it's been a long time, because it has been for us, but for you guys it's only been a week, because we are adequate in all other areas except our release schedule.
Through the magic of online posting.
Yep, that's right.
You have missed nothing, but we've missed a lot.
We have. Oh, so it's good to be back in here. I've missed you guys. I really have. I was thinking about this yesterday, about how much I was looking forward to recording today, so it's good to see you guys. As always, I'm Kyler.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ross.
Ross, you got some news for us today.
There is so much news.
A platter, if you will, of news.
We'll have lots for next week, too.
Yep. Yes, we will. First, we're actually going to give, I guess this can be our shout-out, our guest last episode, Ryan Farron, actually gets a little bit more of our gratitude than what we realized at the time. Christopher Sean, the voice of Kaz in Resistance, had put a thing on Twitter, was like, I'm looking for more podcasts, and
Star Wars podcasts.
Yeah, more Star Wars podcasts. We all posted and were like, hey, listen to ours. And Chris had actually gone through and noticed that someone else that he didn't recognize at the time had posted.
Yep,
it was Ryan.
Before we ever did, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan had actually gone through and posted.
So thanks, Ryan.
So,
we appreciate you, buddy.
We should have.
And thanks again for coming down and dropping some knowledge on us.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Ryan. Next, a new game has been announced by Fantasy Flight Games, which would have been great for our
well, we couldn't have played it though. So.
Yeah, it's not released yet. Yeah.
But they are releasing some information on the new game called Star Wars Outer Rim. And this is the one that was going to play like the Firefly game.
Sounds like the Firefly board game.
Yeah.
You will have a ship and or characters, and you will kind of build your ship and build a crew, and you will run missions throughout the galaxy.
Through the Outer Rim, I assume.
Through the Outer Rim, yeah.
Carrie and I have the Firefly game, and it's actually a lot of fun, especially for those that are more D&D inclined, just because there are stats and things that you're building up, and certain characters do certain things. So it'll be interesting if it's anything like that.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be getting it.
Next, we have Star Wars is continuing with one of its original comics.
This is so
now,
bad.
Kyler has opinions, so we're just going to let him talk about it.
Hey, I am going to assume that most of you are fortunate enough to not have experienced any of the original 1970s, early 80s comics.
If they're listening to this sort of podcast, I would not bet money on that.
Okay, I hope that you haven't, because they're so
Either
bad.
way, I mentioned them in the
that's true.
Star Wars publishing episode.
So in one of these first episodes, Han Solo meets what appears to be a more buck-toothed version of Bugs Bunny, who has green skin, and he's dressed like Flash Gordon. Okay. It makes no sense at all. It's terrible. The story was just... It felt very much like a 1950s comic. They decided, when I first saw the thing, they're like, Star Wars continue with the original Marvel stuff, and I'm like, this can't be a thing. So I clicked on the link, and they're like, yeah, and they had the pictures of like the old bunny, and they're like, yep, they're going to do this story again. And I was like, no, please, your comics have been really pretty good so far. Why are you doing this?
Have they announced any actual art or anything for the new?
I think there was some actual art in it, very much in that style, and I was like, oh no, so I kept reading the article going, please don't be doing this. Don't make this mistake. And then turns out it was like one issue nostalgia throwback.
For now.
Kind of for now, as Chris points out. They said it was a one-issue thing. I hope that it bombs terribly so that people... stop it, Chris. Don't...
I really think what they're doing is feeling out the possibility of simultaneously publishing new Legends canon alongside the current canon.
Do you think they would do that?
And
yes,
here's what I
particularly on the comic side, because that's what Marvel already does. That's what DC does. They have multiple universes.
All I'm saying is I don't want that comic to become canon.
That's fair.
So if they want to re-release it and just say, there's a whole new story with this ridiculous Green Rabbit character, but it's not canon, okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's
based on what I read there, I think it is specifically, this is still Legends canon. This is just a tribute thing where it's not going to be current canon. And I think they're probably doing it as a way of feeling out the possibility of continuing on the Legends canon on the side.
If they make it canon, I will be forced to read it by my own my own personal rules, and I don't want to, so... I hope I can just go on ignoring it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's possible that it will just be a one-off and then they're done, but I could definitely see them feeling out the possibility of doing side-by-side universes the same way Marvel and DC both do.
Well, and if it's just on the comic book side, I have less of a problem with that.
Once it happens in comics, if it is successful there, they will do it on the publishing end too, I guarantee it.
Next. So, when I read this, Has this been confirmed as true?
No, it has not.
Good.
Oh, was it?
So
I went through and dug into it.
Okay.
The headline is that George Lucas is helping with the character of Luke in Episode 9. My initial thought was, nuh-uh. First of all, with how standoffish George was, I mean, he literally washed his hands of Star Wars.
JJ has brought in George for he has stood in on a few things here and there. He has even during filming, watching certain scenes and stuff. He's been there as kind of a light advisor sort of thing.
Well, Last Jedi, there was a story too where he was in while they were shooting, and JJ was like, "How would you shoot this particular thing? Do you have any insight?" And Lucas was like, "Oh, I might do this or that," and JJ was like, "Okay, let's try that."
Yeah.
So there were little things like that, but not anything major.
The main thing, the giveaway for this is, so it says in the article, I clicked through this to the original Express UK, which it's from the Express, which is always and even the Express said, this is, who knows. They did not reference at all. It's just some leak, but there is no someone in the production, someone in this, someone in that, nothing there. Mm-hmm. And then the main thing was it specified that he was being brought in to help with the script. And I'm like, well, they're a little late on that since it wrapped up filming 2 weeks ago. I would say they're too far past tinkering, and they are not yet far enough into the editing phase to know what sort of tinkering they need on that front either. Mm-hmm. They're not into reshoots planning phase.
So the lesson we've learned is that I played the role of your typical media outlet while Chris actually did his homework.
No, what we're saying is
and
you really want Lucasfilm to be looking for someone to improve
upon Luke.
Any news
Fix,
that comes out. Fix, quote unquote. You're looking for acknowledgement. And that's the thing is, it's not just you. It's also these news outlets.
Right.
A lot of the people running Star Wars news sites are diehard fans who are not happy about The Last Jedi. So they are also grasping at any straw that would indicate that Lucasfilm is looking to course correct.
Also, to be fair, this is fairly standard practice, listeners, for this podcast. I'll see interesting headlines and I throw them in the news, assuming that Ross will go and check it later, since he does the news.
Well, and actually, this is one
filter things.
I had run across. I'd run across before and I've been busy the last little bit.
And George has been around.
But that was the thing, is when I saw the initial headline, I was like, and read whatever article it was that I found. And again, it was just nothing substantial. It reeked to me of rumors spawned by nerd rage, is what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
Again, remember, because critics actually liked Last Jedi, it's been neck-bearded fans that didn't. People were like, it was so much better before JJ or Ryan's ruined it, let's go back to the originals, when we all know that all these same arguments were being made against George himself as well. So it's just odd that even is a thing. People are like, let's have George fix it, because obviously he did that so well.
Yeah. That was my first thought, was just let's get the guy whose plan for a sequel trilogy was a microcosm where we find the Wills who live inside the midichlorians and who are in contact with the midichlorians. Yeah. That's why he introduced midichlorians, is so that we could reveal the midichlorians are behind the Force, but the Wills are behind the midichlorians. But behind the Wills are the quarks, and behind the quarks are the...
behind the wheels, I think, are the power drive and stuff.
And then you dig past the wheels, you get the power drive, and behind that you get the ludicrous drive, and behind that you get George Lucas. you get a glowing George Lucas at the center of the cosmos.
His third eye opens up.
Yes, exactly.
You've given us the plot to actually teach us all string theory. And then our final bit of news.
I thought you'd like this one, Chris.
Yeah. The KOTOR 2 designer, Chris Avallone, has been working on Jedi Fallen Order.
Interesting.
So Jedi Fallen Order is the only current light in the tunnel that we have in the Star Wars game space for anything decent.
Because we just have to remind you, EA is actually the devil.
And because this one is not from EA.
Yeah.
It is,
well,
is it?
Technically.
Oh, okay.
The EA is still acting as publisher, but they've gotten a lot of the free reign they should have.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they've only announced
just
the title so far.
Just a periodic reminder that EA is the worst.
So, I mean, still, the jury is still very much
I was
going to
say, how solid is this? Is this just acting on our wish fulfillment that we want Disney to realize how bad EA is?
Well, no, EA is still involved, and we have no details, so we don't know.
Also, I believe I specifically saw something recently that was talking about how Disney is perfectly fine with what EA is doing because it's making the money, but...
I saw an article, it was either today or yesterday, that says they're actually in a polishing phase on Fallen Order. So the game is basically done. Now, anyone in the game space will tell you that, sometimes you can even have discs printed and they'll still can a project.
Yeah, which is...
Well, you look at the old Battlefront 3.
Well, Battlefront 3 was not as far along.
The original Fallout 3 would be
but it was
90%
done, and then it was, nope, bye.
Because I had a professor at school who was telling us that when he actually worked for EA here in Salt Lake on their sports games, like Tiger Woods and a couple of those, they had done a game, I don't remember what it was, but literally it was sitting in boxes in their warehouse, like cellophane, ready to ship. And management came down and was like, no, never mind, just throw it all away. It won't be worth what we think we won't get on it. So, I mean, it
which
can
is
be
so
that
funny
because
you've literally
got the
already
product there already.
the cost. You might as well put it out and get something out of it.
At this point, you can only bring
especially
money back
in this day and age where you've got digital distribution. It's like there's no reason not to do that. Back in the day when it's
this
like
was before that, but still,
if this is true, I would be delighted because I adore Chris Avallone. Knights of the Old Republic 2 was a mess, but that very visibly mostly studio meddling. But this is also the guy behind Fallout 2. Well, one of the guys behind Fallout 2, Wasteland 2, Neverwinter Nights, Icewind Dale, and one of my personal favorite games ever, Planescape Torment.
Yeah. That's why I thought you'd be particularly happy with this news.
It'll come down to how much EA tries to EA itself into this game.
Yeah.
So, now, we recently had a release of Anthem, which has done okay. The complaints with Anthem haven't been the typical complaints you get from EA. So, maybe they've learned after Battlefront. Still, I mean, we're waiting. I'm going to wait for more consistency before I say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is
I'll just be waiting for a while before I make any sort of purchase with that.
Onward and upward.
Okay. So, just by way of shenanigans and nonsense, I was at the bank a couple days ago, and I asked the teller, Nate, if he who he thought the most heroic person in Star Wars was. He said Bastille Shawn from the Old Republic. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Bastila.
Oh, Bastila. Okay. Yeah. He said Bastille, and I'm like, I'll write that down, but that seems like a weird Star Wars name. That's
even for Star Wars, yes.
I have no idea who that is.
So, with that out of the way, I believe we are ready to get in on the final rounds of our hero bracket here, our heroes bracket. So, this, if you've been playing along, we are going to start with our second round. We've got our, 32 contenders here? Mm-hmm. 16 matchups, and then we'll do our 8, 4, and final 2, and we also have a consolation game for third place.
Yep.
And in between our brackets, I have a few additional ones I'm going to toss in for these games.
I'm so excited.
All right, so our first matchup is Mr. Luke Skywalker and Barriss Offee.
Ooh. Well, it's Luke. Dude.
It's Luke.
It's Luke. There's there's no argument to be had. It's Luke.
Next up, we have, this one I think will be a little trickier. We've got Cassian Andor and Ezra Bridger. So Cassian, sexy voice Andor, and Ezra, sexy slick back hair Bridger.
This one is a bit tougher. So Carrie and I are still trying to finish Season 4 of Rebels. We finally got through Season 3 to remind ourselves, and we're just about halfway through Season 4.
It's tough. I mean, Cassian is clearly less of a good guy than some of our other people on this bracket.
Yeah.
But then again, so is Ezra. And Ezra's frequently tempted by the dark side and kind of wanders into that path a little bit.
I mean, he does push that direction, but I think it's because he doesn't really know any better.
Sure, but he's got the potential there.
Yeah.
And he, growing up as a loath rat, you know, just a street rat kind of guy, he's clearly shown that he's not super great with morality in a lot of ways. He's got it where it counts. Like, he is loyal to his friends and he does want to do the right thing, but he is also clearly willing to lie and steal. And Panache, I'm going to go with Cassian on this one. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Ezra's got the lightsaber, which is way cool, and it does shoot, you know, at least the first version, is also a blaster, which is dang cool. But Cassian, man, Diego Luna's a handsome, suave fellow.
But Ezra does like to do little fancier things, especially when he's fighting. I was noticing even just a couple episodes ago, I don't remember, it was some droid, I think. They're in a hallway and he's fighting something big. He jumps off one wall, jumps off the other one, and does like a spin, like lightsaber kick slash thing, you know? I feel like Ezra has a little bit more flair.
All right, you've won me over. Ezra wins the Panache. I think you've got me convinced there.
Okay.
Ability to win a fight without killing somebody, though, I think is going to have to go Ezra. Cassian, I mean, sorry, dude, you're going to slow me down. That's literally the only inconvenience. I'm going to waste you.
Yeah.
Well, and Ezra has more options to not kill someone.
Well, and Ezra specifically is counseled to restrain himself, and he's shown to work on that and strive for that as a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Ezra is in a animated show ostensibly directed somewhat at children, where Cassian Andor was in the dark Star Wars movie.
And so then there's self-sacrifice, which Ezra stomps Andor, I think.
Well, I mean,
think
Cassian literally dies.
He does, but
get the plans
Ezra
out,
literally sacrifices himself to get rid of Thrawn's 7th Fleet.
But Cassian completely goes against orders to help Jyn out, because he knows it's right. I feel like they're sixes on that point.
I don't know. Ezra is giving up the only family he's had for most of his life.
I think so is Cassian at this point. I mean, at the point of Rogue One.
Well, I would argue that Cassian didn't really have relationships with any of those people.
But see, that's the thing. Of the relationships he did have, they were all there. But I think
he did knowingly
either
go
way,
into
Ezra's
this,
won
but
2 out of the 3, so Ezra has to
Ezra
advance.
moves on.
Next, we have Gael Akbar and Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Ooh.
Again, it goes down to our categories.
My first thought was, Ki-Adi-Mundi's a sucker who gets wasted by his own clone troops. And I was like, well, Akbar's a sucker who got wasted by Kylo Ren, so never mind.
So, Panache.
Technically, not even by Kylo Ren. By Kylo Ren's...
Wingman.
Yeah. I think Ki-Adi-Mundi has the Panache.
I don't know. Akbar's pretty panache. You're just put off by the fish face.
Yeah, he's still a fish.
He's,
you bigot.
And he just stands there. I mean, he's way cool and all, but he doesn't really do much flair-wise.
Yeah.
But Ki-Adi-Mundi's got some sweet stuff, and especially in the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. He's got some really cool moves.
No, I definitely agree that Ki-Adi-Mundi's got the panache, but...
Self-sacrificing stuff, I mean, they're both pretty selfless.
Yeah.
They both literally die in defense of what they feel is right.
Well, and Admiral Akbar leaves his position to follow the resistance.
That's more sacrifice. Ooh, so he maybe wins there. So then it comes down to win a fight without killing your opponent.
Which we've been pretty consistently giving those to the Jedi.
Yeah, but doesn't mean we have
board.
to.
Yeah, but I mean, Akbar doesn't do anything that sets himself apart from the others that have lost this fight against Jedi.
I'm trying to think of a reason to
give it to
I think
you
Akbar.
could definitely argue that it's mainly a condition of Akbar is constantly in command, not on the front lines, but from the from a starship, and that gives him fewer opportunities to be drastically heroic out in the front.
Akbar, okay, I'll say this. In the comics where the Empire is trying to subdue Mon Cala and Raddus escapes with the fleet and whatever, Akbar counsels against it because he is afraid of the reprisals to his planet and his people. He's like, I'm not saying we shouldn't fight against the Empire, we definitely should, but maybe trying to run away with the fleet is not the best thing for our planet and our people, because whoever is left on the planet is going to have hell to pay. Mm-hmm. And so he is conscious about trying to respect life.
Yeah, but I don't know if that puts him
more than Ki-Adi-Mundi, yeah.
And even still, we're talking about his ability to
Chris, I think we need an additional category. It's really close. Ki-Adi-Mundi's got him on the panache, but the other two, I mean, it's toss a coin, really.
Just for consistency's sake, I still think I would have to give ability to subdue someone without killing, or win a fight without killing.
Ooh, here's a good
Jedi.
one. This is the character most capable of keeping a Tamagotchi alive.
Oh, Akbar all the way. Wait, no, actually. Oh, no.
Crap, we might need to do another one.
Keep the Tamagotchi.
I want to say Akbar. I think he'd be a really good father figure, a really good dad. But then Ki-Adi-Mundi with those high Jedi ideals about respecting life, no matter what form it takes, even if it's an electronic life.
The discipline to do something on a schedule, like those things.
Yeah, no kidding.
Needed,
that would be, I think it would have to go Ki-Adi-Mundi.
I think Akbar would have more opportunity in the middle of a hyperspace jump to actually play the Tamagotchi. So I don't know. That's a toss up there, Chris.
Come on, guys. I'm going to call this one. I'm calling this one for Ki-Adi-Mundi because Akbar's flippers are not well suited to that Tamagotchi. So, sorry, Akbar, we're going to be bigots against you again.
Yeah.
We're giving that to Ki-Adi-Mundi, though. All right, next up is Depa-Bilaba versus Plo Koon.
I was talking about this bracket to my parents. And my mom was like, Yoda or Obi-Wan should win. They're obviously the most heroic. And I was like, sure. But we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. And I asked her, I'm like, so are those your picks? And she's like, yeah, I guess, sure. And then my dad said, what about Lando? And I'm like, pretty sure Lando got beat out. Also, Lando was not very heroic. He literally sold out his friends to the Empire. And my dad was like, yeah, that's true, but he's cool. And I'm like, no argument there.
He did win on panache. It's true.
Yeah.
And Depa-Bilaba is who beat out Lando for a refresher.
All right.
But anyway, Depa-Bilaba.
Who has panache here? Or Bilaba or Koon?
Remind me who Depa is.
So Depa-Bilaba, she sacrifices herself. She has a Yoda moment where she feels like the disturbance in the Force that people are dying or whatever. Right. And she sees the clones, or she overhears the clones, I think, getting Order 66. And she's like, hey, Caleb, which is Kanan's prior name, she's like, you need to run because they'll kill us both. If you run now, I can maybe take them out and buy you time, which she does. So she's pretty self-sacrificing there.
She was a master as well, wasn't she?
Right, yeah. She was, I think she was even on the Jedi Council.
Mm-hmm. So you have 2 council members going up against each other.
Yeah. 2 lesser-known.
Plo Koon in the Clone Wars, also voiced by James Arnold Taylor. Hi, Jat, if you're listening.
Yeah. Well, okay. Panache. Who's got the panache?
Plo has the way cool voice.
Yeah.
And we don't really see Depa in any episodes or anything like that, but she's got a couple page stretch of panels in the comics that are so cool as she's training Kanan. She's like going through the forms. There's no words or anything like that, no word bubbles. It's just them going through the forms like under the starry skies and stuff. And it's way cool looking. So I'm like, if I picture that, but like with motion, that would be so dang cool. It's a really beautiful scene, and I don't know who the artists are or whatever for that one, but they did a good job.
So fairly panache both. How about best able to win a battle without killing?
Both of them are on the more pacifist side of the Jedi Council. Okay. Depa has like PTSD, basically. She loses a Padawan in the Clone Wars, and that's why she's not on the council anymore, and has taken time off to recover because she's like, I can't handle like the responsibility of somebody else dying under me. This was really traumatic. It's only with Kanan that she finally is like, okay, I feel ready to take on another apprentice. So she's pretty concerned about not taking life more than Plo is. Plo will do it when pushed to it, but he takes a long ways to get there.
I think for me, that would push Depa a little bit farther away because you don't know when that PTSD is going to flare up and she's going to freak out. But again, that's like one notch on the scale towards Plo. I mean,
self-sacrifice ability.
Depa literally dies to save Kanan.
Yeah.
But Plo also, I mean, he braves the vacuum of space to save 5 clones who themselves admit we are expendable. This is literally our purpose. You don't need to do this. And he's like, no, you are valuable. You're not. You are individuals. You are worth something to me.
I give that to Plo for that right there because I think that's a notch above.
And he shows other moments like that. I mean, that's the most poignant moment, but he does show other moments of pretty good self-sacrifice throughout the series. I think I'd have to give it to Plo, but again, by just a hair, though. I mean, this is a close one.
Do we need
another category? I have other categories.
If you've got a good one for him, we'll hear it. But.
Best able to win a debate over whether or not American football or European football is superior.
I think Plo would probably win that.
He seems more like a sports person, sure.
Yeah.
All right, Plo Koon it is.
That's good because that's who I was going to vote for.
Well, and the sad thing, too, I mean, and we learned this doing our villains bracket as well, like, the more rounds we get through, the harder it's going to be. Every one of these is going to get worse.
All right, next up, Yoda, Jedi Master Yoda.
This is going to hurt.
Versus Ahsoka Tano.
Oh! I'm already in pain from one of these people going away.
Yeah.
I don't even want to do this one.
All right, Ross.
So hard.
Who's more panache, Yoda or Ahsoka?
Ahsoka.
I mean, Yoda, he's got his little lightsaber flippy things, but Ahsoka's dual lightsabers that she wields backhanded.
She's so cool.
Oh my God.
And her fight with Anakin, or with Vader, I guess, in the Sith Temple, is at the end of Season 2 or whatever, is just incredible. That fight is so cool.
When we first meet Yoda, his design is expressly not what you expect. Like, he's deliberately designed to not be panache. So I think that's definitely fair. Okay, self-sacrifice.
I'm going to go with Ahsoka.
Defend yourself, sir.
I will. She gives up her greatest dream of being in the Jedi Order to do what's right. And I think, I'm going to say this is a great self-sacrifice, that she then after that literally is, in many instances, on the other side of the field from her closest friends. People like, Anakin, that she genuinely cares for. She has not a love like Anakin has for Padme, which is really just lust. She very much cares about him as a brother, big brother kind of a thing. For reals, though. I mean, it is the meme, but like for reals, that is her relationship to Anakin is, I'm your little sister, you're my big brother who I'm learning from. And now we're on opposite sides of this thing. I mean, that's huge. That's a lot of sacrifice. I mean, and Yoda, of course, lives on Dagobah, but that's only because if he doesn't, he'll be killed. That's more self-preservation than...
He does go after Palpatine himself.
Yeah, but this is the last-ditch effort. This is, the Jedi Order has fallen. Let's maybe take a stab at nipping this thing in the bud before it gets any further.
Yeah.
I would suggest that perhaps Yoda's renowned wisdom makes him into more the type of character who is smart enough to see situations where it's like, I can preserve the greater good here, like by, say, like leaving now because I can't win this fight and waiting until something comes up to tip the scales, rather than I'm going to sacrifice myself here. I think you got a fair argument there, Kylie. Yeah,
I do as well. I'm having a hard time fighting.
And then you look at Ahsoka in Rebels as well. She literally sacrifices herself in the temple. Like, and I don't think Ahsoka does either, knows if she's going to live. All she knows is, I will hold off Vader so that you can escape, because that is literally the only way any of you are getting out of here alive.
Okay, so, and then most capable of winning a fight without killing.
I would give that one
I would
to
give
Yoda.
that to Yoda.
Yeah. So would I, yeah. But nevertheless, it sounds like Ahsoka's moving on and Yoda is not.
Oh my God.
See,
I think that's awesome. I think that is well argued, and it's that sort of thing. It's the hero worship that people get mad over Luke, but it's like, how could he have a flaw? It's like, he never was a perfect character, and neither is Yoda. Yeah. We want to put him first because he is Yoda.
He is the wisdom.
But
the embodiment, physical embodiment of wisdom.
Yeah, but I think there's definitely an argument that Ahsoka is more heroic than Yoda.
I mean,
Ahsoka has moved on.
You know, I mean, before...
How could you, Ross? You knocked down Han Solo, you've taken away Yoda.
No, you took away Yoda.
No, I was going to say, this was your doing.
Yeah. I was voting for Yoda, and like, honestly, I am hurting. Yoda's not going on, but
this is a tough one, though.
I can't argue against it.
Well, it's like, Yoda was a good person. He's amazing. He's wonderful. He is heroic. He's also a guy who fled into exile and did nothing for decades upon a time. Wasn't necessarily an unwise choice.
I wonder if a lot of this would have changed had we seen more of Yoda. We do get a lot of him in Clone Wars, but never in the real dire situations that we see Ahsoka.
I would argue that perhaps the reason we don't get to see him be as heroic is because of that whole... we can't touch this character, we don't want to mess with them too much attitude that all the extended universe has always had towards them.
And in any event, even if we take into account the things that we see of Yoda in the Clone Wars, I don't think it changes the math at all.
Well, right.
That's what I'm saying. But he's not more flashy than Ahsoka. He has more panache, definitely, but not more than Ahsoka. And
I think you could argue for a good chunk of Clone Wars that he does have more than her, but what she grows into...
But the aggregate of all of it is what I'm saying, is not as much as Ahsoka. And then, of course, the area where he beat Ahsoka, it reinforces that. Definitely he shows more respect for life than Ahsoka. So all it does, if we include Yoda and we take into account everything from Clone Wars, all it does is just reinforce the decision we already made.
But again, we don't see enough of Yoda in the situations we see Ahsoka. Yeah. So that's the caveat I would like to put on this, is that had we seen more of Yoda, maybe, but still.
Yeah. So it's Ahsoka. Moving on. We have Commander Cody.
It hurts a lot.
Commander Cody versus Poe Sexy Face Dameron.
Oh, he sure does have a sexy face. Wow.
Commander Cody has lots of sexy faces.
Commander Cody also has a sexy face. He was the Jango and his clones are my unconventionally handsomes after all. But
yes, indeed.
You know, I think I'm going to go with Poe.
I feel Poe on this one. I agree, but it's another close one for me.
It is close.
Poe has panache.
Poe's got the panache. They're both equally bloody, equally willing to kill.
Yeah.
Overly willing to kill, perhaps.
Yeah.
Actually, Poe does kind of throw his friends into the fire just like they were clones.
Well, hold on, though. Okay, so
win a
fight without killing, I'd say they're both tying for, we're just going to kill the problem.
Yes.
There's not really, that's either or.
But
Poe wins panache, but self-sacrifice. Poe, against the better judgment of his superior officers, defies orders and gets an entire buttload of people killed. Mm-hmm. The clones do follow orders, which usually results in fewer people getting killed.
Unless they're Jedi.
Right. Excluding Order 66, at which point they're no longer heroes. Yeah. But, I'm thinking back to the Umbara arc in Season 4 of Clone Wars. The clones are actively going Jedi... Pong Krell, like, this is a terrible plan, lots of people are going to die. If we do literally any other plan, we take half the losses. Can we not do these other things? They're disobeying orders to save lives in that arc.
Mm-hmm. Well, but again, in your example before, Poe faces down a dreadnought on his own. And he does that to save the lives of his friends, or save more lives than what ended up being. Now, he was naive, but I think... he didn't understand the gravity of what was about to happen when he did it.
That's his whole arc there, is learning to be a better hero by the end.
Yeah.
And obviously he gets there, but I think there is some compelling... Okay, so ability to... they were both on the killing
both
people.
Equally bloody.
Yeah.
Poe wins panache, but I think sacrifice, though, like self-sacrifice, I think the clones are going to do that. They're willing to throw themselves onto a bullet for somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, there was a specific point, too, in the Clone Wars movie, I believe, wasn't Cody one of the ones that got stranded in the monastery or the temple or whatever and was like, no, don't worry about it.
It's Rex.
Oh, that was Rex.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
Oh, it might have been Cody. I can't remember.
I know.
It might have been Cody and
there was
Rex.
more than one of
They
them
all
there,
look
so
so
I
much
can't remember
alike.
if it was Cody
Yeah.
or Rex or if it was Rex and Fives.
Yeah, but there is that moment where they're like, no, you completed the mission. You have the Hutling.
Get out,
We're okay. We're okay to be here. We'll hold them off.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got one category for Poe, one for Cody, and one
We're divided
wash.
on the third.
Do we need another one then?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
This actually...
because my first instinct is to say Poe, but then when I think about it analytically by our criteria here, I think it's sort of split.
I have a tiebreaker one, but I gotta say, I think it favors one of them. For our tiebreakers in this one, I am literally pressing the random button on Wikipedia and making up contests based on the pages it gives me. So, and so I'm doing it before we get into a match, so I already have it ready, but this one, now that we're in here, I'm like, oh, I do feel like this favors one of them.
Let's hear it.
So they are going down, they are going to crash land, the one who is best capable of negating as many deaths as possible with their crash landing.
Mr. Poe.
Yeah.
Definitely Poe.
Yeah. So that one definitely lends itself towards Poe, which maybe is not the fairest. But
well, Poe is my gut instinct, my gut reaction anyway. So I'm okay
I think
with
you
that.
could argue the fact that Cody arguably lacks a certain amount of ability to disobey orders, given that he turns on Obi-Wan without even the slightest hesitation, and thereafter is one of the bad guys, whereas Poe's entire arc, he had some flaws, but his whole arc is overcoming those and becoming better, and he does it.
I'm happy with either of those.
Yep.
All right, next up, Terra Sinube and Qui-Gon Flowing Locks Jinn.
Oh,
Qui-Gon, where's my daughter, Jin?
Qui-Gon, certain set of skills, Jinn.
That's right.
Qui-Gon's got panache.
Qui-Gon,
More
I'm both
than-
Zeus and Aslan.
Although Terra Sinube does have his cool cane sword, cane lightsaber, but Qui-Gon.
Well, and you know what? Terra's ability to just show up because he's figured the whole thing out is kind of panache.
It's pretty awesome. But I'm still going to give it to Qui-Gon for the flashy, cooler-looking hero, you know. Win a fight without killing people, that's literally Terra Sinube's whole shtick. I'm just going to outsmart you and the police will be waiting for you to take you away and put you in prison. I don't even need to fight you.
And I think Qui-Gon butts up against the rules often enough that he probably isn't as hesitant to take a life.
If push comes to shove, he'll do it. But
Depends
Terra
on how much of a
Sinube,
hippie he is, what kind of hippie he is.
Yeah, true. I think he would arrive there before Terra would.
so then it's self-sacrifice. I think Qui-Gon.
Yeah, Qui-Gon defies the direct order from the Council to train a young Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, and Obi-Wan straight up tells Qui-Gon, like, you would be on the council by now if you just go along with them, but Qui-Gon's not willing to do that. He's got his principles.
I would go with Qui-Gon.
Yeah. I think it's
All
Qui-Gon.
right, that gives it to Qui-Gon. All right, next up we have Zet Jukasa
I'm so happy.
and Mace Mother-Uffin Windu.
Can we just give it to Mace?
Yeah.
Okay, great, Mace.
All right, good, we're done. That was easy.
As fun as it would be to try to push Zet through, to the finale.
Yeah. Well, Jedi Master versus Jedi Padawan. I feel like Zet went to, killing a bunch of clones to try and get out a lot quicker than what.
Well, I don't know.
Mace
I
would
mean,
have.
he's literally an adolescent who's facing a life or death situation, and he's got a lightsaber. I'd use it to get out.
But again, he's also Jedi with the Force to use. I think there are other options there first. Anyway, Mace. It's Mace.
Back to the right side of the bracket, then we have Rey Hunau and Rose Tico.
Rey. Let's give it to Rey.
You just don't like Rose.
I will flip this table if Rose advances.
And
I think there's some arguments to be made.
There
for
are some
Rose.
arguments to be made.
Flash goes
Panache.
to Rey. Panache goes to Rey.
Panache is
Rey,
Rey,
absolutely.
for sure. Self-sacrifice, I mean, even though lots of people gave her guff for it, Rose self-sacrificed.
Well, and I'd say her
I would
entire-
say Rey did too. She voluntarily gives herself up to Kylo Ren to try to redeem him.
True. That's
and she's
fair,
like, I'm
very
going to
fair.
go into the belly of the beast.
With the beast that Rose is already inside as well.
Not to the same extent, though.
Yeah, but
Rose
still she's
isn't
there.
going into Snoke's
But that's
throne
two
room.
instances
Yeah.
for Rose against the one for Rey. Like, it's Rose's whole...
Honestly, I'm with Kyler on that one, though, because, I mean, Rey walks in and says,
and
hi,
that's
I'm here.
legit. I'm just saying that Rose is
like
ain't
trying
doing
to
bad
be
there.
sneaky
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Like Rey announces her presence and is
Right.
like, "Where's Kylo? Oh, there you are. Okay, can we go see your boss now?"
I would also like to point out that the end point of Rose's plan there that they were doing was always going to end with Rose and Finn probably dying. They're specifically saying, we're going to turn this off so that we can get out of here, but how were they going to get off that ship.
But I think that plan still allows for
there's some possibility.
Stealing a ship and escaping.
But it's the
you
sort of thing going in where it's like when Jin and Cashin and the others are going to get the Death Star plans, they know that this could be a suicide mission. At the time, though, it was not necessarily going to be. And I'd say it's that sort of thing where Rose is going in knowing this could be it, still willing to do it.
So then, win a fight without killing your opponent.
And that's the thing for me, whereas like not killing people is kind of Rose's whole thing. Like she's very much about.
But so is Rey.
But again, it comes down to.
Is Rey? Rey is
Jedi
pretty
discipline.
specifically violent. That's exactly what unnerves her about Luke.
And
is
Rey,
that she is so willing to give into her anger and stuff.
Well, no, she wasn't giving into anger at that point. She was
not anger. Yeah, that's a
she was walking towards the dark side.
She is definitely is far more emotional than your average Jedi wants to be.
True.
And Rey has not had the training that we've been falling back on for a lot of these other matchups.
Yep. Neither his Rose.
Well, but I mean that's what I mean. Is Rey doesn't have the discipline, so that puts her more towards
the doing more with less kind of a thing.
Right.
Like where she is less inclined to kill people, but then doesn't, is a greater surmounting.
At what point does she not kill someone that she could have, other than leaving Kylo alive when she leaves there?
Well, also Luke.
So she doesn't kill the good guy that she was fighting. Like that's.
But again,
she doesn't stoop to straight up murder. Is not the same as I'm going to spare life at all costs. Like, that's different.
But in that instance, she had knocked him down.
I would argue the fact that she brought the lightsaber into that fight at all is an argument against her not being inclined toward violence.
I'm trying to remember the specifics of the fight. Wasn't he already down by the time that she pulled the saber?
No. He fell down because he was avoiding the lightsaber.
Yeah, he was trying to back up.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm not saying Rey shouldn't. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
It's Rey. Search your heart, Ross. Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Well, and again, like with you with Poe, my first thought is Rey, but there are some compelling arguments.
There are some compelling arguments, but I don't think enough to give it to Rose over Rey.
Yeah,
Rose over some of the other people on our list, for sure.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
definitely.
not over Rey.
Not over Rey. Rose is a victim of the bracket matchups. In this
case. Thank heavens.
Okay.
I'm happy now.
Come on.
Next we have, this is Kyler's middle name for this character. I just want to give credit where it's due. Jin, I've never played D&D before Urso. And Kanan Jarrus.
You know, for those of you that don't go back and listen to all of the episodes,
really should.
I feel kind of bad, because there are several inside jokes here now.
Go listen to Chris's Nerf Nugget, the absolutely probably true history of Rogue One.
Right.
It's well worth the listen.
You remember in my Rogue One episode, I gave you the 4 criteria where it's like every single character in this movie is one or more of these 4 flaws. And you asked me, is there any that's all of them? And I said no, but Jin has 3. And you're like, oh, the protagonist. Actually, as I've gone back and thought about it, nope, Jin's got all 4. Anyway, but... So, Jin and Kanan.
I'm going to say Kanan.
Kanan, yeah.
He's more self-sacrificing, I think.
Which is impressive.
Because both of them give their life for the mission, but I think his sacrifice means more. What is being
based on what I
sacrificed,
remember, I would agree that,
because Jin is like, as you pointed out,
it's someone,
I have to sacrifice you, Cassian Andor, who I kind of have a crush on because you're cute, but I've known you for all of,
and I'm
2
going
days.
with you. It's sacrificing her own life, which is impressive, but it's a difference of...
We all die together.
How much am I sacrificing sort of thing, too. Whereas, like, Jin doesn't have anything in her life.
Much more.
Kanan has a lot.
Well, and I also feel like Jin doesn't really think about it, right? Kanan understands what he's sacrificing before he does it. I think Jin is much more reactionary in her.
Yeah, Jin is much more of a, we're about to get nuked? Well, I guess there's nothing to be done about it. Where Kanan is going, I have 2 choices. We can try to get away but probably die, or I can give myself up and all of you people that I love will live.
Yeah.
Win a fight without killing.
It's Kanan.
I mean, really, Kanan. I think, Kanan
and
does
Panache, as much as I love Jin's scarves, like, those are some nice scarves when she's running.
And, like, Jin's got some cool moves in Jeddah, but...
Her police batons
but other than that, there's not much.
All right. Yeah. Kanan. Next up, we have Mon Mothma. Many Bothans have died Mothma. Mm-hmm. And Shakti. Not to be confused with Shaka Khan.
Shakti, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because Shakti is one of, if not the most pacifistic person on the council, but she's got panache coming out the ears.
More so than Mon Mothma.
Coming out her Montrals. Star Wars lingo. It's Shakti.
I mean, I can't think of a good argument for Mon Mothma in any of our particular
categories we're using, All right. Next up, we have Tar, I'm the one who knocked out Han Solo Vizsla, versus Hera Syndulla.
Hera. Yeah.
It's Hera.
I
Hera
almost
is
said
so
versus
cool.
Hera. I'm obviously going to win Syndulla.
You should have. It's Hera. She's so great. Hera is one of my favorite characters of all time in Star Wars. She's just this wonderful mama bear.
So now I would just pause for a quick question. Would Hera have beat Han Solo?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. She would have beat Han Solo.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Han Solo wasn't making it out of here.
Next up,
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
we have Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Princess General Leia Organa.
My goodness.
It's the matchup.
This is another one that is just gonna be painful no matter who goes.
Honestly, Obi-Wan.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Leia. I thought Leia was the more obvious of the two, even though this is splitting hairs.
This it really is going to be splitting hairs.
All right, panache
Oh my
me.
gosh.
Obi-Wan.
I don't know, dude.
Lightsaber.
Leia grabbing Han Solo's gun, blasting a hole into the garbage chute. That's pretty kick butt panache. Leia
That's-
all over Endor?
That's grit, but it's not panache.
Dude, I don't
but
know. That's pretty
panache.
flashy.
Okay, so Leia, I'm a teenage girl with a significant position in the rebellion. Leia Cinnabons Organa. We've got Leia General Organa. Like every instance of General Organa. General Organa in her later years, like pick me any outfit they put her in. A woman gets up in a hospital gown and she's panache.
That is actually... She's in a hospital gown, pointing a gun at a guy and shoots him. That's so good.
That's true.
With her
I
head
have a hard time
bandaged.
with
yeah,
I mean,
that's pretty bad, my
I
friend.
mean, and
Yeah.
now I do not want to besmirch either Ewan McGregor or Obi-Wan or
No.
Alec
Alec
Guinness.
Guinness. They're both quite panache as well. Like, it is a tight thing. I'm not saying that she should win. I'm saying, though, that she's definitely not a
I
write-off.
see,
here.
and I forgot.
Yeah, no,
though.
you're right.
I
She's
forgot
not a
about
write-off,
Ewan
but-
McGregor. I was
Yeah.
thinking her compared to old Obi-Wan.
But even
yes.
Clone Wars Obi-Wan.
And Rebels Leia, though. We see her in a couple episodes of that, and she's pretty take charge. Her panache isn't visual flash, though.
Yeah.
Her panache is, I'm going to toy with you and make you do what I want.
Here, let me rephrase this then. There is a group of rebels having a very heated discussion of what do we do next around a table like
And who do they listen to?
Yeah, who
Leia.
commands
They
the most
listen to
attention
Leia.
here, Obi-Wan or Leia?
They listen to Leia. Obi-Wan listens to Leia.
When?
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, okay.
You're my only hope.
Sure. Okay, he responds to a distress beacon. Fine.
That's fair.
No,
Yeah, but-
Come on.
because he knows
They don't ever
who
actually interact
Because he
face to
knows
face.
who
Yeah.
she is, though.
And they're never at odds, right? There's
They're-
never...
That's true, but there's no doubt.
That doesn't count.
No.
That's
Ross,
inadmissible.
No, I agree that doesn't exactly hold water in this
Yeah.
particular instance, but
No, they listen to Leia, dude. Everybody listens to Leia. She's the last princess of Alderaan.
I want you to pick up Leia Organa leading the rebellion and stick her in the Clone Wars.
She would wreck it.
For now, I'm going to call this one.
Take Princess Leia of the Rebellion or of the Resistance and give her the Grand Army of the Republic to command? That girl's getting stuff done.
But we're talking about swapping them, so it's put
No,
Leia...
I didn't say swap. I just said put her in there
Okay.
alongside
Yeah,
or whatever. I'm going to call Panache a draw for now. Ability to win a fight without killing.
That's Obi-Wan. Because we're going, again,
Really?
to the Jedi discipline. Come on.
No. Leia's... Okay, except for the Battle of Endor, which I think there's justifiable lethal force being used. When she shoots Poe, she doesn't shoot. She stuns him, doesn't kill him. Even though he is clearly a mutineer...
I don't think that doesn't hold as much weight
Fights
as
that we've seen Leia in the movies
Are also a lot
avoiding
less.
stormtroopers in the first one, shoots them down and then they stun her.
Yeah.
Shooting on the Death Star, shoots to kill. Fighting in Cloud City, shoots to kill.
Okay, fine, I'll give it to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It's hard to...
Like,
yeah.
We don't see a lot of her in a fight is part of the problem.
So
but
Obi-Wan wins that
when
one.
she is,
but her
she's
solution
not,
is
she
always
is
a
not
blaster.
hesitant to
Yeah.
shoot down, yeah.
Self-sacrifice. They're both pretty good. And like we said before, this is splitting hairs on this one. But I think I'm going to give it to Leia.
Well...
She gives up her own family for the sake of the Resistance.
And Obi-Wan gives up the rest of his life to watch over a baby.
The rest of his life to do what? I mean, he's a Jedi.
To make sure...
In ideal circumstances, the rest of his life would be sitting in a Jedi temple.
Or, well, and I mean, in these particular circumstances, the rest of his life is being hunted by the... Hiding to watch over this baby is also an act of self-preservation, so...
Yes.
Well, but again, I still think it overweighs the self-preservation. He didn't do it to protect himself. He did it to protect
Leia
the boy.
volunteers
Had the boy
for the
not
mission
been...
to
Here's
go
one
hunt
for
down
Leia.
Obi-Wan.
Leia lies to Moff Tarkin to save her planet, knowing that she's probably going to get killed for that. Like, there are going to be repercussions for lying about Dantooine.
And those repercussions aren't fake either, because as soon as they get word from Dantooine that it's been abandoned, Tarkin says, terminate her immediately. Like, there are no more chances.
Well, and even beyond that, she knows that there could potentially be repercussions for Alderaan.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying, is the repercussions are not
she
potential,
will not portray
is that they are
she puts
real.
herself and her planet on the line for the rebellion.
Obi-Wan allows himself straight up to get killed on Luke's behalf. Whether that's just so they can escape the Death Star, or so that he can show Luke more faith in the Force.
I don't know, man.
One of the two. I don't.
Because, yes, that's a good personal sacrifice, but Leia literally, as Chris just pointed out, is saying, Mom and Dad, who are on Alderaan right now, I'm playing your card.
But
you're on the table, and I hope I win this gamble. Oh, turns out I don't.
That's not down to her self-sacrifice, though.
But it is, though.
No.
It's not like, they're already on the line. That's nothing she has to do with it. But she does put herself further on the chopping block to try and save her people.
If anything, she's stalling for time. She's trying to give him another target that he'll go to. She's not saying, kill me instead of the planet. It's, no, go take over this other planet. And he's just like, okay, well, we're going to kill this one anyway. That's not self-sacrifice.
But she knows
part.
that they're going to find out she lied there.
Sure.
Like, it's a ballsy move, and it is self-sacrificing, I would argue. Now, whether or not it's more self-sacrificing than things that Obi-Wan does, I don't know. But
I don't know. Chris, I think you're going to have to make the call. I'm not budging.
Neither am I.
So here's our next bonus category. Most capable of making an edible meal out of sea snails.
I want to say Leia.
But is that just
Obi-Wan's-
because you're biased in favor of women cooking?
Oh, yeah. Obi-Wan's been living as a bachelor. She's a princess that probably doesn't have a lot of cooking
She has been
experience.
taught how to cook, though. Leia, Princess of Alderaan, the book.
But is that regular foods or is that random sea snails?
No, I mean, it's regular food, but some cooking experience in one area will help you in another.
Sure. But I feel
How
like
much-
this comes down to survivability. I think Obi-Wan's got the survivability score. If you were to put Leia in the middle of a Tatooine desert and put Obi-Wan in the middle of Tatooine desert, I think Obi-Wan's going to be more resourceful in finding things to survive with.
Well, no, that's not what we're saying, though. Who can make the best meal out of sea snails? Like, you have plentiful sea snails.
Oh, rather than just making them edible? Okay.
I am going to go ahead and call it for Leia.
Yes.
By virtue of sticking around when all the Jedi run away when problems get bad. Sacrificing her own clout with the Republic in order to form a resistance against the obvious threat that no one else is willing to do anything. Like, I think it's a very close match, but I'm giving it to Leia. Sorry, Obi-Wan.
Yep.
Remember how we knocked out both Obi-Wan and Yoda?
I know. My mother's going to be angry with me.
Yeah, she will.
Just kidding. She'll never hear this.
All right. Chirrut good with his hands Imwe versus Kazuda voiced by a really great guy, Giono.
Mm-hmm.
Chirrut.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well...
All right, so we got Chirrut and Kaz, Panache.
Yeah, so Kaz, as lovable as he is, and I realized this, actually, I was talking with Christina, Kaz would have been a great choice for the boy next door.
Oh, yeah,
he's kind of that lovable idiot, you know?
Yeah.
But one thing Kaz is not, and that is cool.
Yeah.
He's klutzy, clumsy, definitely a try-hard with the ladies. He's
Chirrut
just
is
not very
Donnie
cool.
freaking Yen.
Yeah.
And in a really nice costume.
A really cool-looking costume, spinning around with a beat stick. I mean, that's way cool. In a Star Wars universe, to beat somebody down with a staff is pretty dang cool, when lightsabers and blasters are an option. So, Kaz, I'm sorry, you lose on the panache.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice. They do
That's how
mention
Chirrut dies, I mean.
in the pilot of Resistance that his family appears to be well off.
Yeah.
That his dad sponsored his academy training in the New Republic Academy to, like, get him in to be a fighter pilot and stuff like that. Like, so his family appears to come from some money, which he then does give up to go live in some bumblecuss town out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but giving up a life of luxury is different than giving up your life.
He's also giving it up to pursue his dream of being a racer, right? Like,
slash working in the Resistance.
Yeah, there's that.
He's giving up a cushy life. Okay, I admit it's not like a great case for self-sacrifice.
I mean, it's not bad. It's nothing to
but now,
shake a stick at. So good for you, Kaz. But
during the course of the season, which we haven't seen all of it yet, he grows up pretty quickly, and there are a lot of moments of self-sacrifice where he is openly doing things that could get him killed or in jail or thrown off the platform. You know, not like physically thrown off, but like you're banished, basically. Mm-hmm. And now that the First Order has taken over the platform, the pirate... You remember we were talking about that? The girl who's a pirate who he helps bring into the station? He ends up finding out that, she is actually a pirate. But when she gets in distress and is like, you're going to die if you don't get off this station, he goes against the First Order to help get her off the station, knowing that, like, yeah, if we get caught, it's game over for us. It's like, that's pretty heroic. And then this most recent episode, the First Order, now that they have occupied the station, now they're doing what the First Order does, which is clamping down on everything. Mm-hmm. And Kaz is actually, like, forming a rebel cell on the station to fight against the First Order at great personal sacrifice, obviously, because...
Personal potential sacrifice, like peril. Mm-hmm. He's in peril. He's not sacrificing yet.
True, but the stakes got raised, is what I'm saying. Like, the amount of stuff he stands to lose is up quite a bit.
I mean, I think there definitely is a case to be made for him, but I still think it's...
Chirrut
I would still
literally goes into a potentially suicide mission and then goes and gets himself killed to fulfill the video game puzzle of that mission without really knowing any of these people, or it's just...
Well, and even before that, on Edu, where he walks out on his own and shoots the TIE fighter with his staff thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, he didn't have to walk out, and logic would tell you to stay at the ship. You know, it's just... I feel like
he goes where the Force tells him to, so if the Force tells him to be self-sacrificing, he is self-sacrificing.
True.
Which is what happens.
That's fair. We can give it to Chirrut. I felt like I had to, especially after...
that's legit, yeah. Gaz, I come revisit this decision in like 2 or 3 seasons of Resistance.
When we get more of
we might have a very different... But
okay,
I think
so for right now,
for Chirrut, also probably more likely capable of winning a fight without killing anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, Christopher Sean. I really tried. I gave it my best.
He knows. He understands. Yeah. All right. Next up, Jocasta Bade Granny New versus Bail Jimmy Smits Organa.
Handsome as he is, I think Jocasta's got to take it. I think Bail is going to take the win a fight without killing people.
She gets a little bit hardcore, from what I understand.
She comes a little unglued.
Because, well, after Carrie listened to our last episode where we were talking about her, she read the Wikipedia article to me, and oh my gosh, she got even more epic.
Self-sacrifice?
She straight up fights Darth Vader like twice over the list of
Jedi
youngling names.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She ends up making her lightsaber into a bomb. Before that, she modifies her lightsaber to basically shoot lightsaber bolts.
Yeah, the gun that we see her with
gosh.
modifies the lightsaber to have it essentially shoot lightsaber bullets.
Yeah.
So we're giving it to Jocasta over Bail?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And our final matchup in this
round,
Chewbacca versus Sabine Wren.
Sabines are an ancient Italian people.
Yes. Rape of the Sabine woman.
Yes.
Here's your random history fact for the episode.
Yep, there you go.
Ooh, this is a tough one. Well, and that's the thing is, you want to give it to Chewie because of...
Sabine's got more panache,
because of
for sure.
Original trilogy, you want to give it to Chewie, but I kind of feel like Sabine would take it.
I want to give it to Sabine. She's way cool. I like Chewie and all, but like Sabine has way more flair and panache and like that kind of a thing.
You know, and well, Chewie is self-sacrificing in that he is repaying a life debt, but Sabine abandons both her people because she created a ultimate weapon of destruction, but then also goes back to try and stabilize those people. I mean, it's well, even before that, she found out she went back to go help Mandalore retake itself, but then finds out the weapon is working, and then
the Duchess, which is such a cool name for a super weapon. I love it.
An ability to win a fight without killing. She's kind of splody on things.
No, but so is Chewie.
Well,
Chewie will rip your arms out of your sockets.
But he could also
known to do that.
And his bowcaster, I mean, it chucks stormtroopers 10 feet.
Yeah.
So.
But I feel like, well, she'll explode things. He has at least the potential of just bear hugging something into submission. But again...
Right, like he bear hugged Han Solo in prison and almost crushed him to death. Even his bear hugs are lethal, Ross.
I think he's smart enough to know to apply appropriate pressure.
I would say they are both equally willing to commit murder.
Definitely, for sure. I still gotta go with Sabine, though. I think Sabine
Chewie has anger issues.
I would also point out that Chewie spends a good chunk of his life palling around with a man who got knocked out in the first round.
That's true. But also,
Chewie, Han's best friend,
Sabine
Chewbacca.
is shown in what season? Oh, it might be actually the season you're on, season 4. Sabine is shown to show restraint in murdering people who probably deserve to be murdered, but she's like, we need to start fresh. You need, like, I'll spare you. Hopefully you'll be better behaved with this second lease on life.
And you're talking with the Duchess, right?
No, after they destroy the Duchess. That's early on in this season.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, after
Cool.
that, like after they stick around on Mandalore and stuff, there's more stuff that happens on Mandalore. You might
Is
not have
there?
got to it yet. Yeah, pretty sure.
So that is the end of the 32 matchup there.
Oh boy.
No, that was 16. So, little breather before we go on to the next round. We have some heroic characters who were not featured in this that I want to match up real quick. Boss Nass versus Nien Num.
Oh, Nien Num all the way
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I thought so. Cool. Nien Num, good job, Nien. Nien Num, for those of you who don't know, would be the co-pilot of Lando's in the Millennium Falcon in Return of the Jedi.
And
He
always
I think, originally on this list, and then I pulled him off for
I
somebody
believe
else.
so, yeah.
I also like his laugh after they blow up the second Death Star.
Good old Nien
So
Num.
good.
All right. Whew. Here we go. Final 8. We have Luke, the Last Jedi Skywalker, versus Ezra, never officially became a Jedi Bridger.
Are we agreeing again? It's just Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we?
Luke is.
Yeah.
I think even the colossal turd failure that was Last Jedi, I still think
stop.
Luke is better. Is more heroic.
Luke has his random temptations to the dark side.
So does Ezra.
Ezra takes a couple steps that direction, then gets pulled back. So I mean, that's not one of our criteria, but I feel like that, I don't know, should go in Luke's favor. So, panache, Luke.
Yeah.
Ability to kill
Especially
a person.
old Luke.
Yeah.
Win a
Dang,
fight
he
without
looks
killing.
cool.
Yeah, win a fight without killing? Obviously, Luke.
Yeah. I
Alright.
could kill the Emperor and kill my father, but I'm gonna not do
Yeah.
those things. Yeah.
Fair enough. Luke Skywalker it is. Next
Where Ezra's
up,
usually asking, and why can't we kill them again?
Yeah, basically.
Next up we have Coyote
Oh, no.
Mundi versus Plo Koon.
Two of my favorite Jedis.
We keep hitting these masters together. Dang.
This is tough.
I feel like Plo Koon has the better panache.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely has a cooler voice.
yeah.
And a cooler, like, costume.
Cooler
His whole,
mask
like,
thing,
face mask
yeah.
thing is just cool looking.
Yeah, I'll grant all of that. Yeah, definitely.
But as far as the other two, it's kind of
It's
sixes.
pretty even. Because I would say they're both about as likely as the other to murder you.
Yeah.
Well, and I would also argue
Which is
that
to say, not very much at all.
all our
Yeah.
arguments about Plo Koon's self-sacrifice that applied against Depa Billaba will also apply against Coyote Mundi, I would say.
Oh, that's true. He is more self-sacrificing than Coyote Mundi.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let's go Plo.
Plo
But
Koon it
again,
is.
by just a little bit, though.
Yeah.
That's really close. Congratulations, Jack. You're moving ahead.
All right. Next up, we have Ahsoka I Beat Yoda Tano
Oh,
versus Poe the Gorgeous Dameron.
I mean, I want Poe to win because he's so dang handsome, and if I can keep talking about him, I want to.
Yeah.
But
it's got to be
it's Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's definitely more panache than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And
More self-sacrificing.
More self-sacrificing, less likely to murder you. Just in
All
every
right.
way, she's a better hero.
Less likely to kill you even though you deserve it, I would say.
Yeah, that's even more true, yeah.
All right. Next up, we have...
Ooh! Oh! I just saw who the matchup is. This is bad.
Oh, man.
Yes, it is. I was looking forward to this when this
Oh, my
happened.
goodness.
We have Qui-Gon Liam Neeson Jin versus Mace Samuel L. Jackson Windu.
Oh
Dang.
my god. Can we just flip a coin on this one so I don't have to make the call? Oh my heavens. This is tough.
Okay, panache.
Oh,
Mace?
it's Mace, but only by a little bit.
Yeah.
But only by a little
Only
bit.
by a hair.
And I would say the color of his lightsaber is part of that
Well,
factor for me.
I also am really partial to the metal on his lightsaber. It's much shinier.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll say this. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll say this for Mace. The panache. When he jumps off the balcony and he's all like flared
Yeah.
out, that is a dope superhero moment. Like, that is way cool. And we don't get anything like that with Qui-Gon.
Yeah, it might just be the increased amount of awesome moments we get with Mace over Qui-Gon. We get one movie with Qui-Gon. We get pieces of movies with Mace, but we also get him in the Clone Wars.
I would say we get about the
Yeah.
same. Yeah, okay. If we talk about just the live action movies, I'd say we get
more of Qui-Gon.
more of Qui-Gon, but the distilled coolness of Mace that we get it in a couple drops, but it is like pure cool.
Yep.
So
If they had let Qui-Gon Jinn use Liam Neeson's actual accent, he might have won.
That would have been so cool.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Right, but they did not.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Definitely, I think Mace Windu's got panache.
Hold on,
yeah.
I need a moment to just picture Qui-Gon Jinn with a sweet Irish accent.
Right.
Just soaking it in. Oh, man, that's so cool.
All right, so that's
my new headcanon.
Winning a fight without killing people.
Qui-Gon. Mace is going to kill you.
Yeah.
Or as Ross put it earlier, it's going to take, they're both, it's going to be a push come to shove thing, but you're going to have to push Mace less before you get to that point.
Yeah.
I would also point out that Mace is the one who decided, instead of following the law, we're just going to kill this guy because it's too dangerous to let
He's
him
too dangerous to be left alive.
But also, here we go, deep lore. Mace's fighting style is more
Goes into the dark side.
Goes into the dark side as well, yes.
Yeah.
Which I think probably adds another couple points into his panache.
Yeah.
I'm just
self-sacrifice
throwing that out there.
then.
Well, because we've already... Oh, wait a minute. We already...
Right now we got one each have a category.
Shoot,
so.
I want to say Qui-Gon for the self-sacrifice. Mace doesn't sacrifice much.
Yeah.
We don't see Mace really have to give up much of anything until it's, and in fact, he dies fighting the Emperor, sure, but that's not...
It's not a self-sacrifice.
It's not a self-sacrifice.
It was actually an overwhelming force and we still lost.
Yeah.
I think we see
Qui-Gon going to win?
the opposite for Mace. I think because more often than not, he's asking everyone else to bend to him.
Yeah.
Rather than...
Arguably.
So I think it's Qui-Gon then.
I think it's Qui-Gon.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with this.
This.
I don't think there was a wrong answer
so what
there,
we
really.
need is we hope that Liam Neeson will then protect us from the retribution of Samuel L. Jackson and that his heroicness will be able to beat that off,
True.
So.
All right. Next up, we have Rey, the first of her name.
I feel emotional.
And versus Kanan Jarrus.
That was so good, Chris. Oh my goodness.
Glad you liked it.
That was so good. Oh man.
Rey and Kanan.
I know who I want, and I think it's probably sixes. I want Kanan to win. That's who I want, just like my gut level, but...
Well, see, and that's actually my gut reaction as well to actually who would win.
Because they're both pretty flashy, like panache-wise.
Yeah.
That's kind of a toss-up. So then there's killing people, or winning a fight without killing people.
Which
it could be either or, maybe a hedge out to Rey just a little bit.
No, I think it actually edges out more to Kanan, just down to experience.
Well, I don't know. Because Rey certainly, especially in Force Awakens, doesn't seem to have too many... Well, actually, she doesn't actually kill anybody. She just beats them up. They get up and walk away.
Because most of the time she doesn't have a lethal weapon on her. She does have a gun for a little while. She has a lightsaber at the very end.
I'm not sure what the movie has to do with it. She doesn't even have a DVD player, Ross. Chris got it. Lethal weapon. Sorry, had to. Dumb dad joke. There we go.
Thanks.
Oh, felt good to get that out of my system, guys. I've got dad jokes building up over here. Okay, sorry. that's dumb.
I was trying so hard to figure that out. Yeah, anyway.
When you're a dad, Ross, you reach a new level of enlightenment. So when that happens for you, they'll come to you naturally.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
No, I think Kanan edges that one out.
Really?
If I'm honest.
Kanan kills a lot of people.
Because he has to.
Well, so does Rey.
But it comes down to who you're going to have to push more. I feel like you'll have to push Kanan more to kill a person than you would Rey.
That's actually, yeah.
Because I think she has a lot of the same issues that Ezra does, where she doesn't have anyone to show her how to not fall to the dark side, right? She starts taking steps that direction, sort of, but gets pulled back. I don't think she goes as far as what Ezra does, but I think she still does.
No, I'll change my mind on that. I think you're right. I think it would take less to push her to murder. Mm-hmm.
We've already discussed both of their self-sacrifice abilities in pretty intense depth,
and I think Kanan wins there too.
Yeah,
dang. So Kanan sweeps.
I think it's possible that if we were visiting this after episode 9,
there's
they
more
might
potential.
have tipped. Yeah. It Kanan's got 4 seasons versus Rey's 2 movies.
Well, and I feel like Rey is going to do the same thing that Luke did, where she's in training in the first 2, then all of a sudden shows up as
the
master. Yeah.
All right, thank you for saving me the effort of having to come up with a new last name for Rey, because that was all I had.
Well, it was a good one, Chris.
I'm glad. I was like, I feel like that's my best one. I should save that for later, and then I looked at it and was like, nah, I'm going to play my odds that she's not going to make it through here. All right, next up, we have Shakti versus Hera Syndulla.
It's Hera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go for it. Yeah.
I love Shakti, but Hera is so cool.
Oh.
My love for her cannot be
That means next time
understated.
we're going to have Kanan versus Hera.
Oh!
What have you done? What have you
man.
done?
Ross, we should have thought about that.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
Next up,
Oh, crap.
we have the one and only Leia Organa versus Chirrut Imwe.
Leia. I'm going Leia still.
Yeah. Especially after all the arguments made last round.
After she
I
beat
think,
Obi-Wan, I feel like that's a pretty clear,
Yep.
Jocasta Nu versus Sabine Wren.
Okay. I want to start off with the violence, the killing. I think it would take more to push Jocasta to killing people, but heavens and the Force help you when that point arrives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, way worse than anything Sabine is going to throw at you.
Yeah. Jocasta's going to
Like,
bring
Sabine
the thunder.
will throw some grenades your way, she'll shoot you, she might slash you with a dark saber, but the Force be on your side if you push Jocasta Nu to the point where she's decided life is now worth taking.
That's legit.
Yeah.
And by, like, orders of magnitude worse than Sabine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Sabine wins that category. She will kill more frequently, but it's like a whole...
But remember, the category is originally ability to win a fight without killing, which I think Jocasta still... I mean, that's even what you were started off saying. I think Jocasta wins that. By that definition, I think she wins that.
Sure. I just still think it's an amazing image to picture Jocasta Nu being like, you know what? I am done with all of you. Okay, you've pushed me far enough. I am done. Where's my big gun? You know? Yeah. That shoots lightsabers. Oh my goodness. Oh, and it's like a beam weapon too. Yes. So it's like the Spartan the Spartan laser from Halo, where it's just like big giant death ray. It's amazing.
So in Panache, I think Sabine. I'm comfortable with Sabine. Yeah, Sabine would take that one. Although, I mean...
She's more colorful, but she's got the dark saber, which is cool. She's got some sweet moves.
Jocasta gets some points, but I think Sabine takes it.
Self-sacrifice. I want Sabine. That's who I want.
See, I feel like...
Jocasta goes back for the list,
right?
Which is pretty self-sacrificing. She does face off against Vader and the Inquisitors. But Sabine, she gave up a royal lifestyle to go help the poor. That's a lot of self-sacrifice.
Yeah, but again, Jocasta scores off with Vader twice. And I feel like, I don't know.
But it's more consistent self-sacrifice from Sabine than Jocasta. And she's regularly putting her life on the line to help people she may or may not ever see again. She doesn't know their names.
She also basically, because it's the right thing to do, gives up hunk of man meat Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean,
no, that's Satine.
Oh, is that Satine?
Yeah, Duchess Satine.
Who is Sabine? All this time.
Oh, Sabine is the Mandalorian from Rebels.
Okay. Okay. The like violet hair.
Okay. It changes, but
every season she gets
on the
hair.
box. She's got. Okay. Yeah. I've never seen her at all.
Yep.
I've been so confused this whole time. Like, this doesn't sound like the same person to me, but okay.
Yeah.
It was like she had the darksaber. All right.
Oh,
what
Chris,
else?
you have made me so happy. Oh yeah. No, it's Sabine, Ross. Jocasta's way cool, but it's Sabine.
Yeah.
All right. I'm impressed.
If we're giving Jocasta the win a fight without killing people because she is more consistently not killing people, then Sabine has to win the self-sacrifice because she is much more consistently self-sacrificing.
Yeah.
Yep. As judge, I will take that argument. All right. So we have our final four matchups, but before that, another extra bracketal matchup.
Ooh.
For the people who didn't make it in, we have the one and only, the great, the glorious, the beloved Jar Jar Binks.
I was like, I did not put that on the bracket. Oh, wait. No, this is one of the ones he made up.
Jar Jar Binks versus the man without a name, Pilot.
Bodhi.
Pilot wins.
Yeah.
I will not give Jar Jar anything voluntarily.
Jar Jar was instrumental, man. In
Shut your mouth.
He was instrumental in the Emperor's plan.
That is true, too.
I don't think he was instrumental so much as, wow, that's kind of convenient. Yeah, we'll use you.
Yeah, the convenient idiot.
Well, no, because
he was instrumental. Like he performed an instrumental moment in the Emperor's plan. Yes,
but that would have happened anyway, regardless of where Jar Jar was.
because
it would have been somebody else if it wasn't Jar Jar.
No,
Jar Jar was just easy.
In a scene or two before, Palpatine is like, if only there was someone strong enough to make this vote in front of Jar Jar.
Yeah, he's deliberately manipulated.
I know he's
manipulated Jar Jar.
Because Jar Jar's an easy target that he can manipulate. But if Jar Jar weren't there, it would have been a different way with somebody else.
Now, of course, it cannot be Jar Jar because Jar Jar was a Sith the entire time.
Yes, that's right.
More on that next episode.
Yeah, oh boy.
All right, so our final four. We have the one, the only Luke Skywalker versus Plo Koon.
I mean, I feel like it should be Luke again, but we don't give him any discussion. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, maybe because we don't give him any discussion. I'm kind of in love with Chris's idea of the twins fighting it out, Luke and Leia.
Well, so I think...
I don't know. Luke's going to have some pretty heavy matchups even if he makes it through this one.
Yeah. I think I would actually give panache to Luke based off of Return of the Jedi Luke.
Return of the Jedi, and I'd even grant him...
I would say,
Last Jedi Luke.
Yeah.
Particularly Last Jedi facing off with Kylo at the end.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
Which is a deliberately engineered panache machine. I mean, that's the whole point. But
yeah, I'll give you that. Luke gets panache.
Ability to kill or ability to win a fight without killing. It's surprising how many times we've messed that up.
I am going to...
Yeah. You think we would have learned it by now, but no, we keep messing it up.
We're adequate, Ross. I expect nothing more. Or less.
We got to retain the adequacy.
Right.
We can't slip. But
no, I'm going to say Luke. Luke has the opportunity to kill two of the most evil people in the galaxy, and decides to win that fight a different way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's very fair.
Through love, literally, like the power of love. Really, though, like the love.
Yeah. I would also point out that Luke beats Kylo Ren without even being there.
That's a good point. So, Luke, that's 2 out of the 3 right there.
That is 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
Well, I am curious, real quick, though. Self-sacrifice. I mean, Luke sacrifices himself so that people can get away. So a small group of people can run away.
Yeah, it's Luke all the way.
He walks into a trap to save his friends.
Yeah. I think that's definitely...
All right, Luke gets carried through another one, which means he's going to face off against either Ahsoka Tano or Qui-Gon Jinn.
He's facing off against Ahsoka.
Ahsoka wins panache.
For sure.
Against Liam Neeson
Against
Qui-Gon,
Liam,
who only
really.
who lost on panache to Mace Windu.
Especially in Rebels. Yeah, like she's very panache in Rebels.
Fair enough.
Win a fight without killing.
That's kind of Ahsoka's whole thing, especially in Rebels. Like, I would argue she's more of a Jedi than she ever was. She is more of a Jedi in Rebels than she ever was in Clone Wars.
Yeah, for sure.
And she very much is like, Ezra, don't kill things, as your go-to.
Mm-hmm.
I would point out we do not have a single recorded instance of Qui-Gon ever killing anyone, as far as I know.
I know we don't.
He only kills battle droids.
That's true.
Yet they're coming out with a book that I'm excited about. But
I did see that.
True, that'll be fun. But self-sacrifice, she gives up a lot, a lot more than he does.
Yeah. I think it would go Ahsoka.
I think by virtue of just not having as much screen time, it definitely has to go to. It can't go to Qui-Gon because of that. So Ahsoka it is. Our next matchup.
So good.
Kanan and Hera.
Oh!
Kanan Jarrus, Hera Syndulla.
You'll have to excuse me, listeners. I need to go grab some tissue because I'm going to cry.
It's right behind you.
Oh, that's true. Hey.
Convenient.
It's prescient, yeah.
Oof.
This is so tough. Okay, so I think Kanan would want Hera to win, so he would sacrifice himself, which would make him more self-sacrificing. That would put him ahead.
Wouldn't you say Hera would do the same thing?
No.
You don't think so? You just want Hera to win.
No, I do want. Well,
he's saying though that he would want her to win, so he would put himself down. But that makes him more self-sacrificing, which then puts him ahead.
Yeah.
This is bad. Okay.
Hera. Has consistently
panache. Give me panache. We've been starting with panache,
Dang
so
it.
let's keep going.
They're both very panache.
But I think Kanan edges it out on virtue of being a Jedi.
But she's a Twi'lek.
Yeah, but she wears baggy flight suits the entire time.
Yeah, but she has awesome Leku with cool tentacles. Or cool tattoos, I mean. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, okay, fine. So Kanan wins panache.
Okay, self-sacrifice.
I do think it's going to be Kanan. Hera, throughout all of Rebels, this was one of the primary arguments between Kanan and Hera on the show, is Kanan is saying, like, I'm down with helping people, and that's great, and, like, Lothal is kind of our home, so I'm super okay with even putting our own necks on the line to help the people of Lothal. And Hera is saying, yeah, but Lothal is only one planet in a galaxy full of planets suffering. We have to think big picture. And thinking big picture, she is saying, yeah, some people are going to die, and that means I might have to order people to their death for the greater good. Where Kanan is very much, I don't care about other people. I'm like the greater other people. I care about these other people.
I am not going to pass up people in need because of the greater picture.
And this is just me speculating here. I don't think that if Hera and Kanan had been switched places in the finale, that Hera would have pushed everyone else away, leading to her own death to save them. I think she would have tried to save herself.
Ability to win a fight without killing.
They're both pretty willing to kill in a fight.
Well, but again, we come back down to who do you have to push farther, and I think you have to push Kanan farther to kill someone, to murder somebody.
I don't know. I don't know. Hera could have killed As Morrigan, but she didn't.
Yeah, but again, I think you have to make less of an argument to get Hera to kill someone than you do Kanan.
I don't think you do. I think the kind of people that would be on the receiving end of that killing are the same people for both of them, and they're both equally willing to kill both of them. Like,
so I'm feeling like we are leaning towards Kanan here. Does that sound right, gentlemen?
I kind of want Hera to win, and honestly, this one is like toss a coin. It really.
Do we need? I have a tiebreaker. Do we want?
Let's do a tiebreaker. I want to do a tiebreaker.
I'm more inclined to go Kanan.
Okay, we'll do the tiebreaker just for fun, real quick.
Okay.
The tiebreaker here is best capable of composing and performing a kick-a Israeli hard rock ballad.
Whoa. You know, I could kind of see Hera being into that.
I mean, at very least, I think Hera has more musical.
Oh, for sure.
She has more potential to have a musical background than what Kanan.
For sure.
So I mean,
did I just screw things up? Did I
no, because we decided Kanan.
No, Hera wins.
Kanan already won 2 out of the 3.
What's their relationship name? Is it Hurricane? Hurricane. Oh, obviously.
Hurricane.
Yeah. Obviously. Should we just lump them together as Hurricane for the final?
No.
No, we can't do that.
I'm writing that down.
Cool.
Hurricane. That's fantastic.
All right.
You like a hurricane.
So next we have Leia and Sabine.
Oh, I kind of want Sabine to win so we can have Master and Apprentice fighting each other. Okay, Sabine has more panache than Leia.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Leia, I think, will win a fight without killing her opponent.
Yes.
Better than Sabine. Self-sacrifice.
Leia.
You think?
I do.
I don't know.
Because what Sabine is doing for her people, Leia's doing for the galaxy.
But what is the cost, though? What's the sacrifice?
The ability to be killed, I think. I think there are going to be more people angry with Leia than there are with Sabine. Sabine can just, take off to some other planet. Leia's got nowhere to go.
Well, but the fact that she has nowhere to go means she's incapable of sacrificing anymore. You know what I mean? It's like...
Because she's given literally everything.
Well, like, Leia can't go home to Alderaan. Sabine has to constantly make the choice to not go home to Mandalore.
But if Leia fails, she can't go anywhere. She's a fugitive over the entire galaxy.
Right, that's what I'm saying is Sabine has to, every day when she wakes up, goes, do I keep doing what I'm doing, or do I just go home and give up?
But Sabine has a larger safety net. Leia doesn't.
Right, and the fact that she chooses to ignore that safety net and put herself out there for others is more of a sacrifice than Leia.
No, but Leia put herself in the position to not have a safety net. Right. Leia could have just forgotten the whole thing and been like, you know what, I did the rebellion, you guys do the resistance thing, but she didn't.
Right, and all of that applies to Sabine as well.
Over one planet, one system.
It's still home.
Still. She said many times in Rebels that now the rebellion is her home. You know, she picked up and went somewhere else.
Well, we can say that for Leia, though.
Leia knowingly abandoned everything and continues to.
So all of that is yes on Sabine. Check all those boxes for Sabine.
But Leia does it over a larger topic. It's Leia!
But Leia, just because Leia's influence over the galaxy is bigger doesn't necessarily mean their sacrifice is bigger.
Winning a fight without killing anyone.
We already said Leia.
Leia.
You did? I missed that. I apologize. And panache is Sabine, you're sure?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sabine is really panache. She is one of the coolest looking, and just watching action sequences and stuff, she is one of the top heroes in all of Star Wars for me. She is so cool to watch fight.
I think we need a tiebreaker, Chris.
Alrighty. Let me remind myself what that one was because
Yeah. Sabine is so cool and panache. She is the reason I am getting into the Rebel faction for Star Wars Legion.
Well,
and Leia is already out, and I didn't pick it up. So, but Sabine is the tipping point for me. And Bosk is coming out for the Empire with Sabine. So that'll be pretty fun.
Best capable of cultivating an award-winning garden.
Okay. Who are you thinking, Ross?
I think Mandalorians take too much time fighting to garden, and Alderaanians absolutely would have gardened. I mean...
That's a fair point.
I can't argue with that, dang it. I was hoping for some reason you would have come up with something for Sabine.
Let's also go to another most chiseled jawline.
Oh, Sabine. Yeah, Sabine. I'm giving it to Sabine.
Sabine has the advantage of being animated, though.
Well, and see, that's the thing, is you go with young, youthful Sabine, so you have to go with young, youthful Leia, and you got to remember that she did get that bikini outfit.
That's older Leia. Look at episode 4 Leia, or end of Rogue One.
But that's when she's the most fit, though. Is when she's in Jedi.
She does have a pretty chiseled jawline.
Yeah,
she does.
Now
I'm sitting here thinking about Leia and wisest.
Leia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm giving that one to Leia. It's narrow, but all right.
Dang it! I wanted Sabine so much.
Hey, you got Leia over Obi-Wan. So take that.
So before we get into
Sabine would have knocked out Obi-Wan.
No.
Yeah.
Come on,
Ross.
Stop.
No.
All right. Before we get into our final four here, we're gonna pair up our two extra bracketal ones: Nien Nunb versus the Man Without a Name pilot.
Nien Nunb.
Yeah.
Cool. Nien Nunb. You have the glory of being the best of the heroes who weren't quite qualified to make it into the bracket.
You're the top of the B team.
Kind of looking at this, I'd say more top of the Q team or something.
Yeah, we've already got teams like A through M on here. Yeah.
All right. Luke, son of the Chosen One, Skywalker versus Ahsoka, apprentice of the Chosen One, Tano.
Oh, Ross, I know. I want to say Ahsoka.
She has panache, for sure.
She's got better panache than he does. I don't think she is less likely to kill somebody in a fight, though, than Luke. I think Luke would probably win a fight without killing people.
Yeah.
I think that's a solid
choice. Self-sacrifice. Yeah. I think it's Ahsoka. Again, after all the things we've talked about with her sacrificing, and Luke...
No, you got to remember though, Luke's walking away from everything was specifically the Jedi are the problem here, which is kind of similar to hers, and him walking away, ruining his reputation with the galaxy, ruining his relationship with his family, because he is that convinced that getting rid of the Jedi is the best thing to do. It's not, Luke didn't do that purely out of fear or something. He thought he was doing the best thing possible here.
Because completely removing yourself from the equation,
I mean, it's undercut somewhat by the fact that the whole point of that movie is he was wrong, but it is still sticking to your guns. And
I'm going to go with Ahsoka, though, still. I think her sacrifice hurt more. There's kind of the old saying, like,
it might have the advantage of we actually get to
sacrifice.
See her sacrifice, how much it hurts, and Luke's is done off-screen between trilogies.
Yeah. But nonetheless, we can only judge what we have,
that's
what information we have.
And we've already had plenty of people that probably won because, or at least clearly had the advantage because of increased screen time.
I feel like their sacrifice her ability to sacrifice is even. I would ask for a tiebreaker.
All right. Tiebreaker in this case, I'm going to go back to my classic list again.
I was going to say, I think we need a legitimate tiebreaker and not macrame.
Oh, come on.
I love how that's become like the byword for something ridiculous here.
No macrame. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go with... What did I have on that? Okay, most capable of sacrificing, of seeing the greater good. So we've talked a lot about putting yourself on the line. We talked about how Yoda is very good at seeing the greater good, but not so great at self-sacrifice. I think you just
continued the tie.
But I want to... Who is most capable of
Luke obviously is saying, in the greater scheme of things, the Jedi have caused a lot of problems, so let's take away the Jedi. Right? He doesn't restart the Order after the kerfuffle, and he goes away. That's pretty big picture.
Which is definitely playing a big...
But Ahsoka is going, you Jedi have a bigger problem here that you aren't willing to believe your own, or even give me the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to leave. But she doesn't lose sight of the bigger picture, which is the Separatists are still evil. Count Dooku is still out there being evil, still needs to be fought against. I'm still going to fight. Then during Rebels, we see her in the time of the Empire going, there's still a fight to be had. Like, evil's still out there. Don't lose sight of the bigger picture. And she's instrumental in helping build the rebellion into a rebellion instead of just unhappy people on disparate planets. So Luke is taking a passive role in the greater good. She's taking an active role in the greater good. And I would say heroic requires action. Ahsoka.
But see, I think...
I mean, this is close.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of points being dished out to both sides in this question. But,
yeah.
But I don't think either of them lost sight of the bigger picture, which is why they chose to do what they did. But Ahsoka's role and her action is more active than Luke's. And I think being an active hero is more heroic than being a passive hero.
But Luke was able to see that the Empire was a bad thing as a farm boy.
Sure.
Well, but when you're being fed the propaganda from the
Luke isn't
party,
being fed much propaganda out in Tatooine. Tatooine's
but
a
enough.
backwater, nobody cares.
Enough of it, though.
Nah.
Because it was still all about, going to the academy and that, even though he was planning on leaving it in the first place. The fact that he could go join the academy, it has some presence there.
It has some presence, but not in the way you're saying, not with like propaganda.
But even again, then being so far removed, he can still see that the Empire is evil and something needs to be done about it. When he could just sit on his farm.
And so does Ahsoka.
Right.
Okay, now I don't know quite enough of Ahsoka's story to recontextualize her actions the way I'm about to do with Luke's, but let me put this forward with Luke. Especially when it comes to seeing the greater good. Luke, we talked a lot about how, he walks in and he decides not to kill two of the most horrible people in the galaxy in favor of trying to redeem one of them at least, which is pretty impressive. Another way of recontextualizing that is Luke is so unwilling to harm someone who has personal connection to him that he puts the entire galaxy at risk rather than do what needs to be done.
I'll say this to just give Ahsoka the same treatment.
Okay.
Ahsoka knows when she leaves the Jedi Order, she said, I can't remember the exact line that she says to Anakin, but she basically tells Anakin, I know about you and Padme. Now, a Jedi sleeping with a senator is not the same level of rule breaking as what the Emperor and Vader are doing. Yes. So she is willing to say, I'm not going to tattle on you to the Jedi Order, but I know what's going on.
I mean,
yeah. So I don't think it's necessarily the same thing, but that's about the only comparable thing I can say for Ahsoka. I think it's Ahsoka, man. As much as I hate to say it, I think it's Ahsoka. After what Chris said about Luke just now, and then again, I'm going back to my own argument of an active hero is better than a passive hero, and Luke becomes a passive hero.
He steps up to take active measures again at the end, but he spends a long time.
But he spends 30 years going, nope, hands off, I'm done. I'm not doing anything.
Like 10 years.
Okay,
even so.
Sorry, 30-year break, but 10, 15 years. Come on, Ross.
This will be the matchup that will keep me up at night.
Take it to mean that you're passing.
So it's Ahsoka?
Here's the thing. No, hold on.
Oh, come on,
Hold
Ross.
on. Because I feel like Luke is always trying to do Well, no, I don't think
I
that
would suggest.
I don't think that would make it.
I would suggest that part of the problem here is that Luke suffers from a surprising dearth of screen time in the new canon.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the old canon.
Yeah.
Compared to Ahsoka, who has several seasons in 2 different TV shows of screen time.
Yeah.
And you just get a whole lot of that. And Ahsoka has also never been the subject of a deliberately deconstructing the reality behind these sort of narratives movie that's digging into what people are really like as opposed to the ideals that we're striving for. So she doesn't ever get undercut in the way that Luke does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Of course,
though,
what I just said about Luke's selfish actions.
6 seasons of her in Clone Wars and 3 seasons of her in Rebels, and there is an awful lot of character growth and deconstructing, and her a lot of questions surrounding like why she does the thing. Like there's a whole lot of sort of intellectual and emotional build up and examination to her leaving the Jedi Order and what is going on after. Yeah. You know, so Luke gets it concentrated in a couple of films. Hers is just a little bit more spread out. Yeah, but I would say
because of that, also more effectively moving.
Yeah, I still think it's Ahsoka, man. This is probably the toughest matchup we've had, but I think it's Ahsoka.
If you got nothing else to add here, Russ, I'm going to call it in favor of Ahsoka.
I feel like
Ross is rubbing his head in just pain over there.
Well, and the thing is, I think this would also go drastically different if it wasn't for Rebels. I think Rebels redeems her significantly.
Oh, I don't... Okay, I disagree, but...
Maybe we'll revisit some of our more controversial matchups after Episode 9 comes out and see...
Yeah, we'll revisit it.
Yeah. All right, so Luke is going to the constellation.
We'll have a bracket of bad mashups.
And Ahsoka is going to the championship.
Okay.
All right, and our next matchup is Kanan Jarrus versus Leia Organa.
This one is going to be tough. So Kanan wins on Panache. There's no question. I think so. He's way cool.
I'll go for a Jedi almost every time on Panache.
Well, let me give you a question, though. Would Obi-Wan have beat Kanan for Panache? Because she beat Obi-Wan.
I think Obi-Wan would have won on Panache between him and Kanan.
Maybe.
I think Obi-Wan just had more flair than what Kanan does.
And she drawed with Obi-Wan on Panache. I'm just pointing out that.
I know.
She's lost on Panache every time since, and I'm like, we set up that she had some pretty significant Panache not too long ago.
I just wanted Leia to win against
Obi-Wan. See, that was more of... I disagreed on the Panache, but whatever.
Yeah.
You guys felt it with her, whatever.
It's totally Kanan, though, for Panache. It really is.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the cowboy Jedi.
I haven't watched Rebels, so I really can't say.
He's really cool looking in any of his outfits, really.
Winning a fight without killing people.
See, Leia goes to blasters too much. I would give it to
She
Kanan.
does. The more because I think of her as a pacifist, or mostly pacifist, or, it takes a lot of prodding. But then as you go through the movies, she is pretty quick to pick up a blaster and start shooting. Mm-hmm. Kanan is more of a, can we run away from this first? And Kanan actually uses Jedi mind tricks a lot, rather where he could just kill somebody.
Does he?
Oh, yeah. Dude, stormtroopers, anytime they're sneaking around, they could be killed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He does. Okay,
but he'll wave his hand and Jedi mind trick people all the time.
Self-sacrifice.
I mean, it's...
There, I think they're even.
Even if they weren't, we've had a lot about Kanan's self-sacrifice here.
Yeah, well, and Kanan's already at number 2 now.
Yeah.
Or he's got 2 out.
All right. Wow, I did not think we'd see this. So we have 2 TV characters for our final, and we still get our twin matchup.
Yay!
Yes. So, before we move on to the final matchup, we have our consolation game, which is between the Skywalker twins, Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa Solo. I don't think she ever took the solo name, actually. Leia Organa. That was Extended Universe. So
no, I think she does, but isn't their marriage like a secret or something?
I don't
know. It's not a secret.
We don't see any indication that she takes the solo name in
I don't think
current
so.
canon, right?
Well, because in
Ben Swallow gets the solo name, but I think she...
Well, and I mean, not to diss on...
maybe it is in Bloodlines.
Not to diss on our beloved Han Solo, but I think I personally would go for the ruling family of Alderaan last name before I went for the some random Imperial dude gave this name to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe she ever takes his name.
Maybe in Bloodlines, I can't remember.
Well, because I don't think she ever refers to herself that way.
All right,
anyway,
Luke versus Leia. Who is the more heroic?
Jeez.
Panache.
Luke.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
For our audience's enjoyment or infuriation, depending on how they're feeling about our choices.
Probably pretty infuriated by now.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've had tables rage flipped over, like Obi-Wan getting out and Yoda. And
I can see all the angry Facebook comments now.
Oh, we're going to get it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as The Last Jedi demonstrated, if you diss Luke in any way, shape, or form, you're in trouble with certain fans. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So we're up Panache, right?
Panache.
Is that what we're talking about? Luke.
Luke. It is Luke. I mean, Leia is dang cool, but
yeah,
Luke's got the lightsaber, and old Luke looks so dang cool. Ugh.
All right.
Not in the black costume. I don't like his black costume, but
Is Return of the Jedi one?
No. It's the black that he wears in Last Jedi.
Yeah, when we first see him, he's in a more typical Jedi getup.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like the kind of beige and gray one. That one, he looks so dang cool. Oh man!
All right, winning a fight without killing.
Luke.
Yeah, Leia's definitely more
Leia's
ruthless.
trigger happy.
She's more of the
It's all that
ruthless
time
of the
hanging out
two.
with Han.
Despite the fact that her whole thing in Last Jedi is trying to teach Poe.
Well, she might have.
Well, but see, the thing
learned.
the thing is though with Leia in that movie is Holdo's the one who's really cracking down on Poe needing to learn this lesson.
Yeah.
Leia tells him he needs to learn this lesson, and then immediately goes, "Yeah, okay, whatever, go doing the same thing." She's his enabler, even if she is trying to teach him something.
Yeah,
and then
that gives us self-sacrifice.
Toss a coin, but Luke's already won 2 out of the 3, so it's Luke.
Yep.
All right,
Luke is the better hero.
Luke is our third place hero, with Leia narrowly eliminated.
that makes me physically sick.
All right, and our final
It makes
matchup.
me so happy to see you so uncomfortable, Ross.
Our final matchup for the championship: Ahsoka Tano versus Kanan Jarrus.
Oh my goodness!
The television apprentice versus the television master.
To be honest, I would go Kanan. Not in Panache, but out of the other two, I think Kanan does it.
Oh, even Panache is close. I will give it to Ahsoka. The double lightsabers is a fetching cool look, man. Yeah. So self-sacrifice. Ooh, I go. Anytime we come to this category, especially with Ahsoka, or especially with Kanan, my moment is the finale.
That's a really effective moment of self-sacrifice.
Dang, it is so self-sacrificing. And even though Ahsoka is drenched in self-sacrifice, I don't think she has as poignant a moment of self-sacrifice as Kanan.
Winning a fight without killing.
Ahsoka has got the full Jedi training behind her. Because even though she wasn't officially knighted, she was a Jedi Knight for all intents and purposes. She just didn't get the degree at the end, basically, Which means... And we see a lot of her throughout the Clone Wars wanting to kill people and not. Oh,
how much
I was
of that...
just watching Clone Wars again with the twins the other day when they capture Newt Gunray. She literally has her lightsaber to his throat and she's like, I'd like to kill you now, but it's not the Jedi way. And she pulls it back. And she's like, you're going to face justice or whatever.
Yeah. Aren't there also a handful, though, where people do have to talk her off it, though?
I'm trying to think. The times where she's most gung-ho to kill somebody is when, they're fighting Asajj Ventress. But that's pretty justified. That's, nobody is saying, don't eliminate this agent. But I think, using your example from before, how far do you have to push somebody before they kill? I think Kanan comes up a little short there. I think Kanan would require less provocation to kill in a fight.
Well... No, I don't think so.
I do, man. I really do.
Because I think Ahsoka had enough of the anger issues. Ahsoka had more anger issues in Clone Wars than what we've seen Kanan.
Early in the Clone Wars. By the end of it, though, she is much more restrained than Anakin. It's kind of.
But it's
funny.
Anakin. You're comparing her to.
Let me finish. Where it's
her improvement
they're the
in
inverse.
self-restraint.
They're the inverse of each other. Yeah. So Anakin starts off the Clone Wars still being fairly good and restrained or whatever, where she is sort of a little bit of a loose cannon. And as Anakin descends, she rises.
You also have to remember that the person who's supposed to be teaching her this was Anakin Skywalker, and she still learned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is the inverse. As far as Anakin falls, that's how far she rises. She gets a lot of restraint I mean, even there are some episodes or some moments in the end where she is telling Anakin, "Hey, rein it in, bud."
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that...
Granted, it is Anakin, but nonetheless, she's the Padawan saying to her master, "You need to chill out, bro."
We don't have any examples of anyone saying that to Kanan.
That's true. Kanan is pretty generally...
And actually, I think technically they had the same level of Jedi training, didn't they? Because he was never officially a Jedi Knight either.
Well, but what I'm saying is she was, for all intents and purposes, a Jedi Knight, because the Jedi Council came to her and said, You have earned the rank of Jedi Knight. We're giving this to you. You're a Jedi Knight. And that's when she said, nah, bro.
Oh, that's right. That is how that ended.
Like, she had attained the rank of Jedi Knight.
So...
And Kanan was a Padawan officially, like, under tutelage of a master for far less time than she was.
Right. So, but again, with that discrepancy in the amount of training, he had far less, and he still didn't have the anger issue she did. So if Ahsoka had had the same level of training, she would have been more...
Not in the movies, but in the comics, the 2 Kanan comics, there's some anger.
How much, though?
Well,
comparatively,
it's 12 issues of a comic, so we don't have a whole lot of room to work with. But I don't know. I think Ahsoka is more of the things we're looking for than Kanan.
Which of them is wiser?
Ooh, that's really tough, because by the end of Rebels, they're both pretty wise. Kanan learns a lot from the Bendu.
Yeah.
Specifically more to like his own personal situation about being blind and learning to accept that and work with the Force and sort of be more in tune with the Force. But Ahsoka basically learned those lessons in the Clone Wars.
Because that was actually my thought. Is actually I would give that category to Ahsoka.
Ahsoka doesn't show much growth in Rebels because she's kind of already done baking, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's more about Kanan and Ezra growing. But yeah, maybe Ahsoka. That's real close.
With a narrow but nevertheless 3 out of 4 categories, I'm gonna give that to Ahsoka then.
Yeah.
Ahsoka is our champion, greatest hero of Star Wars. Ahsoka Tano.
Wow!
Who saw that coming?
Not me, honestly. I thought it was going to be Luke.
Yeah, it should have been.
I'm surprised that you guys didn't give me Luke there, honestly. So
that's crazy. Dang.
Don't worry. In a couple episodes, we're going to discuss why it shouldn't have been Luke.
Teaser.
Yeah,
what do you got planned, Chris? I'm scared now.
Man.
Well, that's why it shouldn't have been is a strong word, but
holy cow, that was really incredible, guys. That was a fun. Wow.
Good times.
All
right, audience, dear audience, please chime in on Facebook, or on Twitter, let us know just how colossally wrong you think we are. And you know what? I don't think any of us are going to say, of course we're right. We're probably going to go, that's fair.
Yeah.
We're only adequate. We didn't promise you superiority here.
And this is all strictly our own opinions, and everyone can have their
I predict that Stephen Boswell will be totally fine with our selection.
Given what I've seen of I think he likes Ahsoka.
Yeah. So I'm calling you out, Stephen. There it is.
And Stephen, I'm challenging you to dare to be different. Say it should have been anyone else, just to get his goat.
Yeah,
no.
Get on there and explain to us that it obviously should have been BB-8.
Dang it, we didn't even put any droids on here.
Yeah, we did. We had BB-8 on here, we had 3PO and R2.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed this episode, listeners.
Yes.
And hopefully you aren't too angry at us. This was really tough. Let us know what your bracket looked like, who you thought was going to win, who you thought should have won. I guess those are probably the same thing. Who did you want to win? Not who do you think should win or would win, but who do you want to win? Because those two are not necessarily the same.
That's right.
I'm happy with who won, though. Ahsoka's great. She's wonderful. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at More Civilized. It's been fun chatting with a lot of you there. And join our Facebook group, A More Civilized Podcast. If you're not in that group, you are missing out on some quality Star Wars memeage going on. That's all I'm saying.
They never end.
Get in there.
We are amply stocked, and they keep
yeah, they're pretty good. We need to have Mike post that EA thing in there. That was pretty funny. Anyway, so there we go.
You can talk with me on Twitter at Mr_R_star. And again, special thanks to some of you, our listeners, Ryan Farron in particular, for our shout out with Christopher Sean. Also, this is a little bit more of a personal note for Kyler.
Yeah,
but,
he's great.
We also want to... Are these even our listeners?
Yep.
Ben and Danielle Priest?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were listening. Hi guys.
So, Ben Priest and his lovely wife Danielle we go way back.
Yeah.
At this point. Back to high school. Long story short, Ben casually dropped that he listens to our podcast and enjoys it. And I was like, what? Ben, you listen. And Ben is one of those kids, like, he was way cool in high school. And so to have him compliment anything that I do, I'm just like, wow, I feel special. But he's legit. Ben is way cool.
Ben's one of those guys.
He's a master of Kurdish.
Yeah, I know, right? Ben's one of those guys that was just really cool, really popular, but you never disliked him for it because he's just a really great guy.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And his wife is so cool.
I assume she must be.
No, she's Danielle is way cool. Ben scored largely with her. He did very well for himself.
Well, congratulations to both of you.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And she obviously did well for herself because Ben is a stud. So that's enough me gushing about Ben Priest. You'll get to hear this in a week or so, Ben.
Yeah. But Kyler wanted to extend a special thanks for the Star Wars Celebration, hooking him up with some Legion.
Yeah, doing him a favor.
Star Wars specific Legion pieces.
Stuff,
so, yeah.
All right, let us know if there are any topics you really want us to delve into, you want to hear more of, less of, whatever. Chime in on Facebook or Twitter and let us know. And if you are someone who picked up the podcast after seeing me at Life, the Universe, and Everything, please let me know on Facebook or Twitter. I'd love to know that you're there. So,
yeah.
All right. Thank you all for listening, and may the Force be with you.
Always.
I'm Anna Graves, and thank you for listening to a more civilized podcast.
Also, give me a snap before you start the show so I know when the actual show is starting.
Gotcha.
So I can leave the rest for Ross.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Sweet.
So I don't have to listen to you again.
No, that is legit.
Yeah, I don't blame you.